home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer during commercials because the revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by Xerox in 4 parts without commercial interruptions. The revolution will not show you pictures of Nixon blowing a bugle and leading a charge by John Mitchell, General Abrams, and Spyro Agnew to eat hog maws confiscated from a Harlem sanctuary. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised.
You know, it's not under the best circumstances, but just seeing this packed room really inspires me and makes me think that, you know, we can get past this and we can move forward. And I just want to go over just a little introduction of why are we here, and then we're going to get started with the forum. So, we are here because of racial profiling in Whitmore. We are here because of the hate crime in Melville Hall. We are here because students of color do not feel safe on this campus. People have been saying that we are in hard and trying times with our political climates, but we as students of color living in this country, living on this campus, have always been in hard and trying times. This is not new. We are not here to sugarcoat anything. People are hurting. They cannot sleep comfortably in their dorms and cannot exist in their skin without the threat of being harassed, assaulted, or criminalized. This speaks to the real fundamental problems of our nation which permeate onto this college campus. We cannot pretend that racism does not exist here. We have to name it as it is. What we do and say as a campus to respond to these instances, as students, as faculties, as administrators, determines our values as a campus community. And what we do not do, or what we do not say, also exemplifies our moral values. What we are valuing tonight at this forum is racial justice. Our goal here is to come out with the beginning of a systematic action plan and vision for how this campus can be a safe environment for students of color. We need to create a campus culture that is truly racially just and treats all students with true dignity and respect. We understand that this will take time, but we also understand that it is our duty as a campus community to make those steps with that mindset. After we found out about the incident at Whitmore, where a black employee had the police called on him, SGA leadership met with UMPD Chief Tyrone Parham to discuss our next steps. After that meeting, we decided that a community forum to discuss this particular incident was necessary. However, over the weekend, we found out of the news that someone wrote a violent racist message in the Melville Hall's Emerging Scholars rap floor in their bathroom. We cannot only do a forum around that one issue in Whitmore or that one issue in Melville. Of course, this forum was created because of those issues, but we need to think more systematically, critically, and figure out how we are going to embody a racially just campus.
I'm going to start by going over some community guidelines that we have for the space to make sure that we're actually creating a forum grounded in dignity and respect for one another. So the first one is to respect each other. This is a forum and we want some ideas and action plans to come out of it. This is not a time for debate or to argue with one another. We want everyone to be able to feel heard here. Another is to respect people's pronouns. It's pretty self-explanatory. Respect and honor people's personal stories. Even if someone is sharing something that they don't want to release, honor that. Speak from your own experiences and please don't generalize. One mic, so there are mics down here if you're invited up to speak, which we'll have an open session as well afterwards. Please allow whoever is speaking to get their thoughts out. And everyone gets up to 3 minutes to speak as well. The last one is intent does not equal impact, so please understand that people here are coming, that may be coming for good intentions, but say something that has an adverse and harmful impact. So please be mindful of your impact onto others and listen when people say you hurt them, and please don't try to justify. So we have some clear goals and objectives for the space as well. We want to make space for those who are hurt. We want people to be able to share how they've been impacted by these incidents. We want to begin by creating an action plan to tackle racism on this campus, and we want transparency and clarity on our campus when these incidents do occur.
Enough was enough, and regardless of my health right now, I did what I needed to do to make sure I was present today to at least speak. Sadly, I cannot stay here for the remainder of the forum just for my own personal safety, but thank you for giving me the time and consideration to speak, and hopefully this forum will have a lot more better outcomes like we all wanted to do. This speech was written for me not to be here, so don't mind me. So once again, thank you all for taking your time to be here. I know many of you guys have classes and other commitments, so this really does mean a lot. I have been a student here at UMass, living on campus since 2015. Shout out to any seniors in the room. Woo! Coming to this university as a young Latina, I'm a very proud Puerto Rican, if any of you don't know me. Just coming here from Springfield, Massachusetts, I already knew the odds were stacked against me. Let's be realistic. Being a minority, a female, and coming from an urban community that has a bad reputation enough as it is, right now I'm expected to have 2 kids by the age of 16, live off welfare, maybe a GED, maybe finish high school, and college is never in the picture half the time. But I'm here now. I'm a management senior in Eisenberg. I have 6 classes left in my degree, and I'm here to break the stereotype. So thank you for all of you, because all you guys are doing the same exact thing, especially against the statistics. So be proud of yourselves. Quick round of applause. Regardless of how shaky I was, I took my chances anyway and decided to come here. And 4 years later, roughly, I can genuinely say I no longer feel welcome and safe on this campus, and that's something that's truly sad and heartbreaking to me. Don't mind me with my emotions, please. I should feel safe on this campus and what is supposed to be our community, and I don't. And I'm only going to speak for myself, but I've been in communication with plenty of you in this room, and I understand where a lot of you are coming from. So once again, thank you for having the strength and the courage to continue with this fight, because I can know firsthand how emotionally draining it is to be a person of color at a predominantly white institution. Yet, with everything going on, I should be prepping for the real world, applying to jobs, getting ready to go live my life, but I'm here with my mental and emotional health slowly diminishing, my physical health on top of that, because of the environment that we're in, one of the most toxic environments I've honestly ever been in, even coming from Springfield, Massachusetts, regardless of what anyone has heard about it. My involvement on campus has allowed me to witness and experience stereotyping and prejudice in all levels and forms firsthand. I'm usually expected to be the ratchet Latina just because I'm very blunt and I'm very loud and I'm very sassy, and I'm expected not to know how to conduct myself. And yet again, here I am being a part of this committee to plan a forum, because it's most definitely possible, regardless, and I'm going to stay true to myself no matter what, and I'm glad all of you are doing the exact same thing. Yet no matter what I've gone through and how I personally felt, I've done my best to utilize every position and opportunity I've gotten on this campus to make sure I can bring the necessary support, attention, and education needed to bring all of us together. As an event coordinator on campus, a vice president, a peer mentor, and a head dance coordinator, I've clearly had countless of opportunities to build and create a community, and that's exactly what I've done, and I'm proud of myself, and I'm proud of you for those that have taken that part with me, because I need everyone to understand none of that was done alone. Not at all. I have amazing e-boards, shout out to LU and SoCA. You guys have been some of the best people I've worked with, so remember this would not be here if it wasn't for you guys as well, including everyone else in here. I need everyone here to understand nothing can be accomplished if we stay within this binary situation of you versus them. This is not just my problem or your problem, this is everyone's problem. As a member of this community, we all have a voice that matters, and this requires everyone's, not just some of us, not just you, not just me, everyone's genuine attention, time, and effort to start making the required changes that we all clearly know need to be done. This environment will not change in the blink of an eye with one action or with one voice. So if this cause truly matters to you, understand I need you. I'm not asking for you to fully understand my perspective. I'm not asking you to share the tears that I have cried. I'm not asking you to experience everything firsthand. You don't need to. You don't need to experience racism or prejudice or stereotyping firsthand to know that it does impact you and it does matter. So, I need you all to be able to see the real issue, which you clearly all do, whether it's impacting you personally or not, and to stand together with me, with your peers during this time. Silence is violence, and we can no longer stay silent. It's time for us as a community to improve, as well as the university. I can no longer endure this toxic environment, and I want to do my best to make sure it's good and better for others, whether or not I can enjoy that time as a remaining student here, knowing that I only have 6 classes left. So thank you for you, all of you, for coming today and showing your support. Thank you to those who were able to attend and participate in the march earlier this afternoon. I was very proud and I was in tears back at home in Springfield seeing all of you rally together. To those who have added to this toxic environment, I truly do feel sorry for you, but I do thank you, and I thank you for this. You're finally showing your true colors, and you're finally showing everyone in this community there's some work that clearly needs to be done. So, I ask that let's get started, because I personally refuse to give up, and will be one of those to push and support those who no longer have the strength to continue. Because I understand, and I've been there, and all I'm asking for you right now is to really pull through, and just last a little bit longer, because hopefully we'll be there very soon. Please and thank you.
I can't express enough how sorry we are for what's happened the last couple of weeks. Immediately after, particularly the Whitmore situation, realized, once we got through the threat part of what was called into us, of a substantial, what we thought was substantial enough threat that we needed to confirm that there was no public safety issue. Even though we thought this could be racial profiling, the way that description came in for Whitmore, but we thought we owed an obligation to confirm it. Once we confirmed it, I knew immediately there were going to be some challenges. And actually, throughout the event, we knew there were going to be some challenges. But we felt a need, from a public safety perspective, to at least confirm what had happened, and then immediately started reaching out to various members of the community, including SGA, to just try to get an understanding of everything that happened. And it's definitely interesting. It reminds me of, we just don't know why that person called us, whether it was indeed for Whitmore, whether it was indeed truly did they think it was a public safety issue, or was this something else relative to race. And then reference the Melville incident. Again, words can't describe how we're feeling and how we know that the community's been impacted about this. I wanted to let you know that we're continuing to investigate the Melville situation and reaching out and trying to see if there's anyone that has any information that will be able to provide prompt information so that we can bring some justice to that situation. And lastly, I just want to make sure that our staff here will be here for the whole event. We'll be up front. I have both my deputy chiefs here, so we'll be here for the entire event. People have questions, concerns, comments. Feel free to come up to us and ask. Thanks.
About our resources, I want to acknowledge, I can't imagine how difficult it is at the beginning of the semester, especially if you're a first-year student of color, coming to UMass and having all the hopes to build community, and you're faced with such a racist environment message. That must be really difficult, and it brings what we're trying to say about building community. So this is very important, and thank you everyone who has come here. And I believe that it's very important to keep the dialogue going, not only today. I'm glad we all are here today, but if we don't talk about racism, we cannot think about eradicating it. So it's important to keep that. And I want to tell you about the Center for Women and Community, where I work, and I run the Women of Color Leadership Network, which is a program of the center. We serve all genders and non-genders. We serve all people of different backgrounds. Everything we do is free, all our services. And we also have leadership opportunities for you to participate in. And I hope people get to know what we have. In addition, you may know us as the Rape Crisis Center for the county, but in addition, we general counseling for people. We have walk-in hours from 9 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon, or you can call our general line, which is 413-545-0883, anytime, and make an appointment with a counselor. As for the Women of Color Leadership Network, while we're here to primarily serve women and non-binary people of color, we're open, our programming is open to everyone as well, and it's all for free. We also have our office always open to help build community for people of color on campus. So in addition to having like panel discussions and leadership training and formal events, we also hold some social events and informal discussions so we can have real talks as people of color on campus. And I hope you can all come to our office and be able to take part of what we do. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. and thank you to all.
Hi. My name is Savannah, and a lot of us here live in Melville. And if there's anyone who lives in Melville and feels like they want to be on the stage with us, I can invite you to come up. I wrote it down, sorry, I'm nervous. So much of the university has been able to do something that we, as students of color, as people in Melville, as Black students, have never been able to do. They were able to, what feels like they were able to pretend that this didn't happen. They've been able to say that racism and hate have no home here, that racism and hate not only have a home here, and that's what we're here to let you know, that it has a home here, it can work here, it's intertwined in our economy, it can go to school here, and it's in our teachings. So this isn't surprising, and we've heard of occurrences like this have happened before from upperclassmen, and we're letting you know it's happening again. But to anyone who say that they make this their utmost priority, that they really cared, we're here to let you know that we're not going to ask you not to forget about this. We're telling you that you will not forget about it because we're going to make sure you don't. We're not going to let you. Many of us wrote this together, so when we use the phrase we, we're talking about people who helped in the writing of it, people who have read it, and even people in the room who resonate with what we're saying. So we, as residents of Melville, of the UMass community, we're hurt, angry, but we're ready to talk. We deserve the right kind of media and to give a statement that many of us have come up with together. The hate crime that took place in Melville took place in the first floor public bathrooms, and it happened on Saturday, September 22nd during the tailgate, and we were told Monday, September 24th through a vague and diluted email. Meetings, discussions, and media releases took place that same night. As students new to this campus who are still tackling getting adjusted to this new environment, we haven't had any time to process this, process our feelings, or come to terms with the fact that it even happened. Many of us aren't feeling safe enough to even walk down the hall to go to the bathroom at night, and have realized that coming back to our dorm after class doesn't give us a sense of relief anymore, but a sense of anxiety. And I'd just like to say, we know UMass can do better. We have faith in UMass, so do better.
We deserve the respect and understanding that this is not just a bias-related incident, but a hate crime. Labeling it what it actually was, especially as soon as it happens, is what needs to continue to happen for future incidents. This is not our way of trying to make UMass look bad, but instead safer and unified and better for all students. But this also isn't our job. Our number one priority as students should be focusing on our academics. Yet many of us are here focused on whether we are safe. Now we're stuck rebuilding our community that we had already built in Melville. We've had to fight for even the decency of an email that wasn't rewritten from anyone, and many of the deans and top officials on this very campus.
What we're fighting for should have already been given to us because decency and respect are UMass's pillars. Many of us are first-generation students and already dealing with the pressure of having to do this on our own. And having to deal with racism at the very same time isn't helping. Black success does not mean racism in higher education ends, and we all need to acknowledge that.
Not only do we want the decency of calling this what it is, but we want transparency. We want to know as much as the UMPD can legally tell us. We want updates because this is our safety. This is our home. Inside our homes, we do not have police officers watching our every move. They haven't proven that they truly care for us. Increasing police presence and placing security cadets on our floors will not make us feel more safe as students. Want our counseling brought to us in safe spaces and group counseling that do not have police presence, especially without letting us know beforehand. We know this happens on every campus, especially this one, but let us be the first to make a change.
Today, a lot of us cried, not only out of frustration, but we were overwhelmed with how much support the Melville and Black community has received. It was beautiful and emotional to hear everyone chanting. So thank you to the allies, the organizations, and to everyone else who's been supporting us and trying to make UMass a better community. Now, because we haven't been able to breathe in with music forever, let's just take a few minutes, few seconds to just recollect ourselves and breathe for a second. And thank you guys for listening. Sorry, hard to think really fast right now.
My name is Chimrama, also known as Chim. I am a first-year student coming from the city of Boston. I am an Eisenberg major in sport management. I am a female minority, but more importantly, my skin is black. I chose UMass because my family and friends spoke so highly about the school and its history. Not knowing too much about the school before accepting, I came to what was introduced to be a campus where I matter, where I would be able to grow and thrive, where I would have the most transformative college experience, and where any form of racial discrimination would not be tolerated. The last thing I expected was to be informed and to actually see the words, "Hang Melville niggers." I'll say it again for people who didn't hear me. "Hang Melville niggers," written on the bathroom of my residential building. On the grounds of the same campus I was supposed to call my home. That right there was not, it should not be labeled as a bias-related incident. This was not a mistake. This was a racial death threat. This was a threat to the Melville community, to our mentality, our safety, and our lives. This incident has left me and the residents of Melville very shaken up. Prior to attending this college, I was told that UMass was a flagship campus, somewhere that hate had no home, and never did I think an incident with such a violent and hateful nature could ever take place, but it did. And we must face reality. The reality is that someone in our own community felt comfortable enough to write this. The reality is that there seems to be no protocol on book for when such incidents take place. And the reality is that saying that racism has no home here or having a dignity and respect campaign is not so. I am a prisoner of my fear, which has displaced me from what has been my home for the past 3 weeks and has resulted in me staying in a hotel for almost 4 days now, where I am struggling emotionally, spiritually, physically, and mentally. My fear has made it so I've not been able to attend classes. Every time I walk on campus or the halls of Melville, I fear for my life and reevaluate where my trust lies. As a first-year student following this incident, I've really been questioning my existence on this campus. I've been questioning if the reputation of the school is more important than my safety, and I find myself constantly wondering where my place is and if I really belong. But the fact is that I have earned my spot here and deserve to be here just as much as the next person. I'm tired of constantly feeling the need to prove that I belong, and I'm tired of hearing this happens everywhere, at every campus. Just because this happens everywhere does not make it okay. We as a campus need to do better and make sure that we don't perpetuate the systems that continue to oppress people. White people, check other white people. Everyone needs to play their part in this community. Administration needs to enforce the rules on things that they will not tolerate. As for everyone, speak up for what you believe is right. Let's be a campus that doesn't accept the status quo and not let the fact that racism takes place at every campus define us. We need to be better as a community. I'm tired of feeling like a broken record with this ongoing cycle of no change. I am not and will not continue to feel like an inconvenience to the rest of the white people on this campus. I have as much right to be here and get my education as the next person. Following this incident, Black people, other people of color, and white students who stand in solidarity all need to come together and prove that we are stronger and bigger than this racist hate. We need to take space even if we are not given it, with our voices and our actions, but not with violence. We taught ourselves to read during slavery. We fought the Civil War to get freedom. We have made it from the gutters, and we have survived without the silver spoon of privilege, and we still prevail. And we need to continue to persevere. It is easy to feel small, to feel as though no one is on our side, and to feel as if the walls are closing in on you. It's times like these that we need to stand together and let people know that we will not be silenced. People wanted to silence Malcolm X, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., James Baldwin, but their legacy lives on. And as their people, we must continue this legacy for them. We can all talk about how mad we are, but we need to turn this energy into something good. We need to take action and make real change. We cannot do this alone. As Black people, we need to continue to speak up, continue to disrupt the racist systems in our society, and continue to demand for change. As for non-Black people, we ask you to make it known that there is no place for racism in any community. Non-Black people have no place saying the word nigger. We need to hold people accountable and have those difficult conversations. Otherwise, nothing will be changed. We also ask everyone to stand with us in the good times and in the bad. We need to come together to form a force so powerful that there is no way it can be overlooked. This fight is a long one, and it is nowhere close to over. But the only thing we know how to do is keep moving forward and getting bigger and stronger by the day. So on behalf of Melville, we have also come up with some demands that need to be met within the close future that will be in the long term and make this campus what we think to be. So our demands are to see a plan of action to create an anti-racist campus as soon as possible. We demand that the rest of the campus is notified about what happened. We demand there is an additional mandatory meeting in each cluster/dorm about racist hate speech. like this and what actions are taken because of that. Everyone has a right to know about what happens on campus, and we also demand a required online training that everyone is required to take and pass before coming to UMass. I personally feel like if there's an alcohol EDU and a sexual assault module, just better protocol for incidents like these, including all of the above. So knowing what to do in situations like this to make sure it doesn't happen again, or so that if it does happen again, you know what to do. Moving forward, our goal is to create a campus where people of color can feel safe and live and learn comfortably, and to end an institutionalized culture of white supremacy. We hope to create a diverse campus, which doesn't mean having 2 black people in each class, but means having 2,000 black students amongst us. We are creating change on this campus, for us, by us. We can't change racism everywhere, but we can start here. This has impacted us, but does not define us. We are stronger than this. We cannot be desensitized to incidents like this that continue to be swept under the rug. We should not fear for our lives, especially those who have been on this campus longer than I have. Long-term workers who cannot casually walk to the Whitmore administration building with their gym bag on without being targeted as a threat to others in the community. If hate really has no home at UMass, prove it. I want action. We want action. So stop the sugarcoating. Let's be real. Silence is violence. Our campus, our voice. We will not be heard without a choice. UMass, let's face it. It was racist. There's a lot of people in this room, and I know a lot of people have ideas and thoughts that they want to be heard, so just to make sure that everyone gets their time, we want to limit it to up to 3 minutes per person. How's that sound, everyone? Word. So before we get into it, I wanted to start off with some guiding questions to get people thinking. But I want to take a second first, just have everyone breathe. Feel where you are right now. What are you feeling? What's going on in your head? What's going on in your body? Take another breath. After Whitmore and Melville, what are people feeling? How did you feel when you heard the news? How are you feeling right now? Do you not feel safe? What do you need to feel safe on this campus? What do we, all of us, need to do to create a racially just campus? What are we not doing? What do we need to stop doing? What does true dignity and respect look like at UMass?
Hi, my name is Ocean Eversley. I'm African American. I am a 60-year-old non-traditional student. I'm a senior now. I'm in an honors thesis class called Truth Telling. And when I heard about the incident, I was reading an email, and I was actually writing a story about the racism that I felt. Let me be clear, the hate crimes that I endured over my life. It was in 1977 when I was a sophomore at Boston University. I was living in a co-ed dorm and my white neighbor, who's a male, decided that he didn't want me to live anymore, so he threw several firecrackers underneath my door and lit my dorm room on fire while I was there. It took months for the school to do anything about it, and I suffered anxiety. And even though I won the court case against him and he got expelled, the school never did anything about it as far as like what you just offered, counseling. I never had a forum like this. I'm so glad to see all of you here. I'm glad to also see not only the black students here, but the Puerto Ricans, the Asians, and the white students here. This is definitely not just a black thing, it is an us thing. It's a human being thing. So I felt terrible because I said, it's happening again. Not to me personally, as far as like I didn't see a sign in the bathroom, but I don't have to be there for it to affect me. I hope that the school does something more than what it has done. I'm glad to see that the school is here, some of the administration's here, the faculty is here. But something has to be done, and I loved what the students in Melville said. I think it has to be a test that's passed also in order to come to school here. I think that every auditorium on the campus tonight should be filled with white students and faculty telling them that this is I don't want to take up the time, but something has to be done. We're living in a culture that perpetuates hate ever since we got here. Ever since we got here. And so, the administration has to take the responsibility of doing more than it has. And I'm not knocking it, I'm just saying, please do more than you have done. And for the students that this has really has caused you to go to a hotel and the crying and everything like that, you should feel those feelings. But I'm going to ask you, don't drop out like I did. Don't drop out like I did. I'm still, after all these years, I'm back here. I'm going to graduate this May. You're worth it. I love you all. Thank you.
So I actually just have a couple of questions. My first question is directed at the Chief of Police. What have you done to apologize for your apology that diminished the traumatization that Reggie went through down to a landed in a mug? To the administration and Res Life who aren't here, where is the transparency and what are you doing to provide support to these students and to Reggie? And anybody else who's experienced a hate crime on this campus, because it's not just them.
Hi everyone. Bear with me a bit. I'm not really good at this, but I can talk. Sorry, I don't deal with emotions. That's one thing I'm gonna say. It's I'd rather laugh about it, not laugh, but find the goodness out of it. And once I heard about this, I couldn't do that. I couldn't quite understand. Still to this day, I'm still trying to process it, just like everyone else in this room is. I'm just how? How is it that on a day it was on that Saturday where everybody's tailgating, we know who everybody is. Tailgating and there's police all around, y'all supposed to be watching us, right? And my fellow freshmen, I grew up on with y'all, and I have them coming to me telling me they're scared. And it's crazy because I felt that before, And it's it's sad that now that I'm a junior, it's hard for me to understand and put all the words together because it's been happening for so long. You know what I'm saying? You're just here, wow, another one, Sorry, I have a lot of different notes written in here because I was just listening and everything was just like coming out. So it was like, when I came to this campus and someone asked me the other day, why did I come to UMass? I couldn't answer that question. I just kind of came here. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I remember the first day I went to orientation, I was with 3 of my girls, all of color, and we was probably the only ones. You know what I'm saying? Like it was weird. Like I was like, oh, okay. And then today, when we was all together, that's where I felt it. I felt the blackness in me. I felt us all together for once. I haven't felt that since I've been here. It's my 3rd year. That's not okay. I'm in organizations, I'm involved on campus, and it wasn't until today that I really felt it. And I just want y'all to know that it shouldn't be like that. We should be feeling that every day. We should feel black every day. And it's crazy because UMass is all about diversity. You matter at UMass, but who matters at UMass? And this is my last thing I'm going to say. I no longer want emails after it already happened. I don't want posters everywhere. I want these forums, but they should have been happening already. They shouldn't have had an issue happen and then there had to be a forum. I don't want a hotel to sleep in because I can't sleep in the $4,000 dorm I paid for. That's it.
Amen.
Hello, my name is Lucia. I'm a senior here. I just want to propose several things. I think that the Melville students who had to go through this should be compensated, not just with emotional support, but financially. Pay for their honors living. Honors living is more expensive than every other dorm. And who lives there? What? Well, if they're applying to the honors program, pay for their living either way. Like, they got death threats, so you should pay for their housing, pay for something else, compensate them financially, you know? So, that is one proposal that I have, is compensate these people. Compensate these students somehow because they face death threats and have emotional trauma. And also, I think since the new student union building is being built, I think that there should be some sort of like center, like a multicultural center that has counselors available, that has like all the resources available that can direct people places. Because every single multicultural thing that we have, they're at the ends of campus. They're like mostly student organized. Like how are like students of color supposed to get therapists? How they're expensive, they're hard to find. In Amherst, there's mostly white therapists. Like who are you supposed to complain to? So I think there should be a multicultural center in the new student union building, and there should be counselors available, resources, people to guide these kids, students of color, first-gen students. There's like no central support. I mean, we have some organizations, but I mean, like they're hard to get to, and I don't know. There just needs to be more done. Yeah.
Hi, I'm very nervous. I'm a little shaky. My name is Sari, and I live in Kennedy, but I'm always in Melville. And I wrote this while I was here because like so much was going on, and I wanted to like talk about it. So I had never been trained to go to war. I had never felt like I had to get strapped and changed, grab my tools, and head into battle. But that's what it felt like, battle. Battle in the sense that there were good ones and there were bad ones, and there were people justifying everything. I had been more disturbed in the sense that we, as Black people, were too busy discussing the disturbance and the distribution of experience and identities and the involvement of everyone else in a way that my roommate wasn't here because it didn't affect her. I had been disturbed by the fact that the room was predominantly Black and that my Black peers were just that, Black. To generalize, only Black students were disturbed by this. My roommates and my white peers went to class, slopes into trigonometry was discussed and talked about, not to say that the world should stop when something bad happened, but to say that this experience can be ignored by a certain demographic that isn't our own. I wanted to do biology today. I wanted to sit and take notes and be in the common room and soak in the sun. And I didn't get to do that because I was too busy writing speeches, making sure the wrong thing wasn't said and that everyone agreed. Meanwhile, the world kept spinning. I couldn't understand how I could be expected to go to biology when the hospital I was going to be working at could be having an issue like this. I didn't understand how people could be so unaffected when my world stopped because of this. My safe place was safe no more, and everyone else was still fine. White saviorism had almost cost us an opportunity to speak, because although I did not live in Melville, I'm a Melville nigger. I'm a Melville nigger when I have to make sure I don't come off as aggressive when I get excited, and I don't come off as annoying when I speak. I'm a Melville nigger when I have to make sure to be politically correct and to make sure not to use ebonics so I don't come off as uneducated. I'm a Melville nigger when I am threatened and my peers who look like me are threatened because niggers are only one type of people. This isn't the equivalent of drawing dicks on boards or in bathrooms because dicks aren't threatened. Because they wanted to hang niggers, and anything hanging is having the life slowly sucked out of them. And we were wished as people a slow and gruesome death. Silence is violence. I'm tired of seeing only people who look like me cry. I'm tired of wondering if the person who did this is scared or if they're comfortable because they know the law, they know the world, they know the school will protect them. I'm tired of sick people coming out of quarantine and risking their lives to show you that we matter as people. Thank you.
So hi everyone. I really hate the public speaking thing, like my heart is beating out of my chest, but I feel like someone has to say it. If UMass does make that test that every student has to pass just so they will have some sort of racial awareness or have some sort of sensitivity training, make it so that the faculty has to take that same exam. It's not just the students, it's the faculty that I personally have experienced some sort of microaggression from in one way or the other, and it's not just a UMass thing either. I think if we're going to start all of this change in UMass, we should try and make it a 5 college thing too, so that they try and so that this change we're trying to create in our community, you know, it's more widespread. We don't want it to just be a UMass thing. If it can start with UMass, it can start in the 5 colleges, it can start, you know, wherever else it needs to go. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to say.
Watkins, I'm a W.B. Du Bois Diversity Fellow for the Center for Psychological Health and Counseling, and I just wanted to name that me and my coworker, who's not here tonight, Ziara Velasquez, are both available in terms of appointments and scheduling, and just as a personal moment for me as a former alumni of UMass, and just also really appreciative of all the feelings and emotions that come up, and people have been so eloquent in naming that this is just a long journey and a process, and I would just want to offer that we are available for you in any way possible, and really name that experiencing racism is not a pathologized mental health disease, and you do not need to feel that is any kind of illness to come and talk and feel in a non-judgmental space, and just be listened to and heard. So I fully endorse the W.E. Du Bois Fellowship as a way to contact and get in touch and do schedule any kind of appointment or time you need us to be in a space to just have a voice to listen to. This is all very personal for me, so I really hope that you take that up if you need it, or if you find somebody who feels alone and wants to talk to somebody and process what's going on for them. Thanks so much.
Hi, my name's Sophia. I'm a current sophomore. I'm an emerging scholar. Hey guys, I just did my last year. Okay, I just had a couple things to say. So thank you administration for finally showing up. We appreciate it. It's a little late, but thanks. I also want to emphasize that you do not care about us, and it's very, very convenient how we just got that email today at 4:35. But 4 days after somebody said, hang all the Melville niggers, a building that has a rap for black students, minority students, 4 days after is when you had the audacity to send us an email talking about some weird beer for you. And then on top of that, I want to emphasize, what the hell does keep it in the Melville community mean? What do you mean we should keep quiet? What do you mean go to your RAs, but RAs don't tell other RAs? What does that even mean? There is a black campus. There are black students that live everywhere, and we can't tell other RAs. Why? Because y'all want to brush it under the rug. Because last semester, there was definitely a girl who got hit by a car, but who heard about that? At 3 o'clock in the morning, who heard about that? So UMass, you will be held accountable. Administration, you will be held accountable because we made a whole lot of noise this morning, but we're going to keep making a whole lot of noise.
Before I begin, thank you so much for saying that with your whole ass chest, bro. I think that reflects the anger and the frustration and the confusion that we are facing right now as a community, and we don't feel supported. And one thing that compels me is, where are our professors? You can't take 5 minutes at a lecture to talk about this. Are you even notified about it? Like, where is the support from the educators that are supposed to be guiding us, supposed to be encouraging us? Yeah, bro. All right, well, that's another problem. And, you know, as I was having my 2-hour RA staff meeting about what safety means to me, you know, that was cute. I was wondering, you know, today, it felt so good to see my community show out, and I really felt part of the Black community here on campus. Because I've done things like new student orientation, and last year I was probably 1 out of 2 Black orientation leaders. So I was wondering, like, where is that representation that us as fellow students need to see? We need to see more of us as, it cut out. Okay, we need to see more of us as student leaders and as people who want to build a voice for our community. And we shouldn't wait until stuff like this happens to facilitate that type of voice. We, as a community, need to stick together. People who are not people of color, white people, stick with us in solidarity, educate others. It is not our job. Google is free 99, okay? If you want to be educated, it is not our job to sit down and lecture about white privilege, about police brutality. This is all free on Google. And I just want to make it known that our community needs support and it needs encouragement. And we get that from each other, and we need that backup from the administration. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Shay. I'm from Springfield. I'm Puerto Rican, and ever since my freshman year, first semester, I've been wanting to transfer out of UMass. I am a senior. The last 2 semesters, I went on domestic exchange to the University of Memphis. Everybody kept telling me Memphis is so dangerous, don't go. I felt safer at Memphis than here. I'm an RA for the Melville Thoreau cluster, and the reason I chose to become an RA is because I didn't feel connected. And even now as an RA, I still don't feel connected. I still struggle trying to help my residents feel comfortable here. On my floor, I have one person of color. Everybody else is white. And I can't help but feel like, well, maybe are they targeting me? Am I safe as an RA? How do they feel about me? And it's hard. We need better support for RAs. I didn't even find out about this until, 3 days later? How am I supposed to support my residents when I don't even know what the hell is going on? It's sad. It's really sad that's happening right now, and policies, there needs to be a change in policy. Crack open your little handbooks or whatever is going on and start writing something. I want to see investigations. I want to see, are you guys going through who's getting checked in? Like, what's good with the security? What's happening? Because we're not even getting updates as RAs. And I'm being honest to all of you guys. So if RAs aren't getting updated, honestly, what else is really happening?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Christian. I'm an Afro-Lam major. And I just have a few things to say. The first thing is a demand, actually. That I demand that this racial terrorist that wrote those things in that bathroom needs to be brought to justice, you know? Because I know for a fact that if I took myself or somebody that looks like me went into one of these bathrooms and started vandalizing my ass would be initiated right now. Somebody knows who did that, and these cameras everywhere. And since that, like, I didn't even know that was a first floor bathroom, so you know there's cameras, on that door constantly. So, and another thing, those who know me know that I work at Target, right? And I work the last shift, so I get back to my dorm around maybe 11:30 midnight. So I don't want to be, this is just the beginning now. I don't want to be coming from work, getting to my dorm and have to face like a lynch mob or whatever, Because it first starts with these terrorist threats, and then if this one person or these group of people is not checked, it's going to keep on escalating. So I just would have that demand that this person or people get what's coming to them. All right? Thank you.
Hi, my name's Amberly Lerner. I'm a junior here, and I just wanted to propose a suggestion going forward. In my freshman year, I noticed that the cultural centers were heavily underfunded and decentralized. Like, to get to the Native American one, you have to go up the Central Hill, and so me and a friend tried to talk to administration to see what we could do to improve the conditions. One of which I think someone earlier mentioned having a central place, maybe in Stunian or even Bartlett, because Bartlett was being closed. It was being renovated and stuff. Just have a central space of support, especially because also there's the whole thing of what if you belong to multiple identities, like Afro-Latina or whatever. And so we were talking to administration, and they were like, oh, we don't have the money for that. Specifically Bartlett, there is a plan in 12 years for Bartlett after they got the English department out. And so what ended up happening out of that was that they were going to have a student intern, basically. So another student who's being focused, not to focus on their academics, but to do the work of actual professionals, help out with the cultural centers. And so my suggestion going forward is the person who I talked to specifically was Shelly Perdomo. She's the assistant vice chancellor for advocacy, inclusion, and support programs. She's just one person. I'm sure there's more people, but now that we're all here and it's more than just me and my friends, I think that would be a door to really push for change. And so that's my suggestion. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Michaela. This is my last semester here, thank God. I transferred here. I'm from Amherst, so I'm really, really good. get out. I transferred here after a year at NYU, and New York City, people think it's dangerous because it's New York, but I had more anxiety about transferring to UMass, about walking around at Amherst alone in the dark, specifically UMass, because I didn't come here when I was in high school, because I didn't trust anybody who was here. And when I came here, it was worse because I was put in Sylvan. I was the only black person on my floor, the only person of color on my floor, and there was no outreach. I saw my RA maybe twice. Injustices that are going on that don't evolve around hate crimes, that don't revolve around people having the police unjustly called against them, because we need this community, and I didn't have that while I was here. And that's on me, but that's also on where I was placed. The lack of students of color, the lack of resources for students in STEM, specifically black students in STEM. I mean, this is my last semester here, and I'm just ready to get out, but I'm gonna ride with y'all till the end.
I'm a senior. I transferred last fall, and it's been a great 2 semesters I've been here. But to be honest with you, this is really making me upset. I'm really sad to learn all this. I mean, I haven't been here for the 4 years like most of you guys have. So, to me, this is news. Like, I didn't even know about this event until today. I only found out because I walked by all you guys outside the student union. And I was like, what is this? And somebody... Now, needless to say, that's kind of foul. And I'm just really sad because, I think it's shitty that my friends out here are now not feeling safe in what should be a community for them. I only got 2 more semesters left here, but I'm here with you guys. That's about it, guys. Thank you.
Can I just say I'm scared? Honestly, right here, right now, in this moment, I'm scared. I'm shaking. I haven't cried yet, but I feel like after this I'm gonna cry. Let me restart. My name is Zachary Stewart. I am an emerging scholar. I'm an emerging scholar. And I'm an Apple major. And I'm not really one who likes to use the word nigger, but I'm just gonna say it for tonight because when I heard over the weekend what had happened in my dorm, honestly, my first thought was anger. I was like, the same shit that happened in my high school is happening all over again. And I am sick and I am tired of this happening. And honestly, and to hear my friends say that they're afraid, to hear myself say that I'm afraid, and to be on a place that is supposed to be a flagship, but you can't call yourselves a flagship if this shit is happening. And what I want to know is what the hell is gonna happen moving forward, so that way when we walk down the street, we don't have to double check ourselves and make sure no one's writing anything, no one's saying anything. And I'm trying not to ramble here, so just bear with me. But yeah, I'm scared, I'm angry. I feel as though I'm second guessing my place here on this campus right now in this moment. I'm second guessing my place here, I'm second guessing my identity as a young black man on this campus in America, just in general. And all I want to say is, to my brothers and my sisters in Melville and Afro-Am, just across this campus, I stand with you, and I say to all those who will write or who have the potential to write, hang those niggers, I say to you, step the fuck up!
but for me, as a member of the Emerging Scholars and someone who lived in Melville, hearing about this incident that affected members of this new cohort has impacted me greatly because it makes me think that this could have been my cohort only a year before. And thinking about, they've done such an amazing job of impacting the community, of speaking out, of sharing their feelings. And I just want to say I love Melville, and I'm so proud of seeing you guys stand up here. And for me, I know many of you here probably recognize me for my involvement in Residence Hall Association and with cultural organizations. And I grew up on Cape Cod. I was always someone who was told wasn't just a normal black kid for being smart. I was a businessman black, or like Barack Obama, which was cool. I liked it. I enjoyed being involved, and I still enjoy being involved here. Because my goal coming here wasn't just to be silent, to just go about my academics and watching Netflix in my room, but to truly be involved in a community, not just a community for Africans, for Cubans, Native Americans, or whatever, but the community of UMass, which includes everyone. Whether it's the Latino community, the black community, the Asian community, the white community, everyone as one family. And I feel like after this incident, I know it seems like this is happening all the time. We watch the news, it's almost hard to look at anything because we're just so desensitized to everything that happens to us all the time. And like someone mentioned, this incident shouldn't be another example of desensitization. I can't talk. We shouldn't feel desensitized to this. We shouldn't allow this to be something that we just brush past. And I'm so proud to see, after being a part of planning for what happened today, that everyone that's here today really truly cares about making an impact and continuing to fight to see changes happen on UMass. Because this isn't something that's new, it's not going to change overnight. It may not even change in our lifetimes, but the fact that you guys are here, you care. And then there's going to be more steps. There is definitely going to be more steps beyond this. We shouldn't feel like we need to attack administration, attack any groups, but we should all be united together as a UMass. Some of the campaigns here may be ineffective, but at this moment, this juncture in our history as UMass students, we're going to make sure that for the rest of the history of this campus, that these type of incidents will not go without being addressed, that we will not be a response to incidences like this, but that these type of things will take place before incidents like this occur. That there will be education, that there will be programming, and that we will not tolerate these type of incidents in UMass ever again.
Hey guys, I'm Leah. Yeah, so I just kind of like, I don't know, a lot of my questions were answered, and somewhere in that line I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't ask them, but I'm gonna ask them again because I want this to be said a lot. I want it to be like, you know, in your heads, and repetition is the best way to do that. So, they're like kind of demands. It's just so, you know, I'm just so, how am I just hearing about this, you know, now? How am I just hearing about this today? It happened 4 days ago, and I'm only hearing about this now. I just heard about this whole, they told Melville to brush under the rug. Who the hell do you think you are to tell somebody to brush something like this under the rug? I'm sorry, I just. Listen. Like, I couldn't go to the rally today because I had class. I'm a double major, science and music, and there's not a lot of black people in both of those, especially music. I had to sit in my music class and one black person to sit there. Everybody's like, so, you know, we're gonna play this instrument over here. Like, did y'all hear the N-word? Was there been a bad thing? And everyone's just like, no. And like, one of the things that is baffling me, I told one of my TAs in my music class about this because she hadn't heard of it. And she said, wow, that happens in Massachusetts? That still happens? And it's like, did Grayson take a vacation and no one told me? I'm sorry, sweetheart. It's not like racism only grows in certain places. It grows everywhere because people water it and they nurture it and they take care of it. Racism is everywhere. It didn't just appear. It is always here. It's always, how do people not see that, you know? Like, we all grown, we know these things. I'm just baffled how people can sit there like, oh my God, that actually happened. Of course it actually happened. Shit, anyway. I'm trying not to get hot in here, but like, one other thing I want to say is, whoever did this, I'm not gonna say anything that is gonna make me look bad up here, but like,
Your PD's right there.
Listen, I'm not a fighter, but I just want it to be known that if this person is not by at the least expelled from this campus, I don't know what I'm going to do, y'all, but I'm going to do something. So yeah, I also want to say, like, the Melville kids right here, as a freshman, I would never have had the guts to boast of any of what you guys just did up here. I am so proud of you. So proud of you. So proud of you. I'm not gonna cry right there. So yeah, something has to be done. I'm sick and tired of this.
I am a sophomore here, a double major of political science and Spanish. I am an emerging scholar. I was in last year's cohort. So I did live in Melville, and I just have a few things that I do want to say. I'm tired of hearing that we're overreacting and it's not that big of a deal. It obviously is that big of a deal because we're bringing it up. Ever since like I've been like interested in coming to UMass, everybody's like, oh, like it's such a diverse campus, like you'll enjoy it because you know you like diversity. And I was like, check your numbers. There's not much diversity, and if you do have diversity, it's located in Southwest. So, you know, take the Southwest because that's where you're going to get it. There's a reason that minorities don't really live in the honors college, and it's not because we're not intelligent or like we can't get in. We can definitely get into the honors college just because we don't feel comfortable living in the honors college. And the incident that involved like the Care Bears and the coddling, like they made that a big incident and that was all over the news, so I'm confused on why this isn't all over the news. I've got on this campus, all I wanted to do was join clubs that had included people of color like me. Like I worked 2 jobs, so it's not easy to work 2 jobs, be a student, and join clubs. But I made sure that I made appearances at the BSU events or like a few SOCA events, and like I made sure that I was with people that I felt comfortable being with. And that should not be the case. I should be able to join political science clubs because that's my major, and I should feel welcome that those clubs that I just don't. Like I want to go into immigration law, and I want to go into immigration law for incidents like this. This should not be okay. We should not be treating people of color like they don't belong because we built this land just like
Hi, my name is Reggie. I'm a freshman. I also live in Melville. So here's the funny thing. I didn't even know about it, nor like had I seen it. It took until Monday, literally as I was walking to class, got an email from the RD saying all the residents that live in Melville should come meet. And I didn't go to meet if I had a business expo. Then there was a second email that was sent. It was like, in Melville, it said, hang all the Melville niggers. Okay, that's cool, because you know what? Let me take a knee on a football game or a soccer game, there's a problem. Let me hold the flag upside down, there's a problem. Let me burn the flag, there's a problem. But it's okay for y'all to say, hate the Melville niggers. It's okay to say nigger. It's okay to hate the black community or be racist or have a president that is also racist. But the fact that we have a black president is not okay. The fact that we have to try to keep our mind, we overreact. The fact that we try to build ourselves up is also a problem. A black man can't get a job because he's black. So when they see the name Jerome or whatever his last name is, it's because he's black now. So you got a Malcolm and whatever his last name is, and a white man with a resume is good for the company. The funny thing is, I'm also from another school that said we are a diverse school with respect. So I'm from Cambridge Ridge and Mac, if you don't know that school. And when it was on the school, someone drew a swastika sign on the bathroom. And you know what was funny? And I'm gonna go investigate.
It's the same thing that's being said. We're going to investigate it to see who actually did it. We're going to follow the camera to see who did it.
We're gonna keep trying to find you. You don't know.
Okay, cool. Who wrote? Hey, all the Melville niggas in the bathroom if you can't find that. If you can't find who wrote the design, you can't find them. Everybody goes to the bathroom, you're not gonna find, so you should have no other options. I'm sorry. Know the fact that here's one thing that all black communities try to do. Every time we try to have a peaceful protest, we can't have that without the cops stopping or when the more racism comes towards it. But if it was a feminist group or the Muslim group, it's okay for them to have it, but once the black community tries to hold themselves up, it's bad. It's like, we can't have our own. Alright, my fault, but yeah, this is what I'm
So my name is Ivis. I just transferred here last semester from the University of Kentucky. And I was a prominent member of the NAACP there on campus. And when I came here, I looked at where to transfer to Massachusetts because I needed to move back home. And I looked, I saw UMass had Webb Du Bois Library, which if you guys don't know, is one of the founders of the NAACP, along with Ida B. Wells and a lot of actually white allies. So when I looked and I was like, oh, I'm gonna join the NAACP on campus because I already know what's good. So I look for an NAACP on campus and guess what I found? Nothing. Okay. So I look and I see how dare this campus have Webb Du Bois' name on the library and stand by while people are saying, hey, I'm not even gonna say it because I don't feel comfortable. How dare you have his name there, the man that stood against lynching and stand by while people are talking about lynching your students? I don't understand that. And when you're trying to find the person who did this, you know every time that somebody's about to do some funny shit, people be recording, ha 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 ha, you know? There's people that know who did this. There's people who saw this person. There's people that have them on Snapchat looking every single day. You know who did this, and it's time for this person to step forward. And I'm sorry, but you're just gonna have to deal with the consequences. You wanna be funny? Come on.
My name is Malcolm. I'm also a part of the Melville community. I'm a freshman here. And similar to my friend Reggie over here, I didn't even know about the situation that happened until I went to the meeting. I'm not even a part of the rap or anything like that, and the people from my floor on the second floor, they were talking about their rap, so they were forcing me to go, and I didn't know what was going on, because in this email that I got, it just seemed like someone just defaced the bathroom, someone somebody do something, some bias, something I don't even know, they just wrote some random shit on the wall. But I went and I found out somebody wrote a racist comments. I didn't even know, at the time, I didn't even know what was said on there. I had to wait till the email afterwards. And basically, I was frustrated. I was trying to figure out what they were saying. Yeah, I was trying to figure out what they were saying, and in my head, ever since I heard about it, I'm just trying to think about what makes you hate me for my complexion? I'm just the same as you. I'm a human. We're all human. What's the point of, because I'm a darker complexion than you, you have to go ahead and be oh, you gotta kill yourself. For what? For what? It just doesn't make sense to me. Not at all. I also come from a diverse community. Well, I guess you could call it diverse, but it was mostly a white community, if I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm from Lowell, Massachusetts. I'm from Lowell High School. And we also, shout out to the NBC and NBC. But I'm from Lowell High School, and we also had an incident that is similar to this. Someone was in a racist group chat, and basically that person was also a part of, one of the people that were in that group chat was a part of my team. And how was I supposed to feel safe if one of the captains on my cross-country team that I run with every day, that I trusted every single day, I was oh, he's one of the brothers that are on the team with me. How am I supposed to feel safe on that team? And I'm feeling the exact same emotion that I felt back then. It's ridiculous. And honestly, I feel like we honestly need to come together as a community. And we honestly need to stand together and fight this, because change needs to happen. And it needs to happen soon.
What's going on, yo? My name is Kevin Kwabnam Ngogunyam. I'm a Ghanaian American. this, like, the school was setting up this whole forum just as a way to cover the behind. So me, initially, I thought I was going to go, but after I was sitting in my dorm and I did some thinking, I decided I would get up and I would go to at least see, because if what I can say, and like if like my presence here could even have just like the smallest of an impact, like on everything that's going on this campus, that would be good enough for me. So yeah, I just want to start that off. And another thing I just wanted to say is that oftentimes when we're talking about the Black community in America, we're always talking about our struggles and our hardships and stuff like that. But I just wanted to say that despite all the hardships, despite all the trials and tribulations, I just want to say that I am proud to be Black, and I don't want to be anything else but that. A few things that I wanted to just touch upon is that when I heard about this incident, there were people who were actually talking about this stuff in like my anthropology class in terms of the incident that happened in the Whitmore building, and they're talking about how they were surprised, this, that, and the third. Me, I wasn't surprised whatsoever, because despite the label that this campus has as being a liberal and a progressive campus, there are still many people with racial prejudices that are on this campus, and something that I've experienced myself firsthand on campus. When I was a freshman on this campus, my first week here, I went to a frat party, and when I was waiting in line, right? When I was waiting in line, some white kid shouted from the balcony saying, "Hey, Black kid with backpack, you're not welcome here. Whites only." Since that has happened, I haven't been back to a frat house since. And
What frat house?
That's not right. That ain't right.
What's the frat house?
What frat? I wish I could tell y'all what frat it was, but I'm gonna keep it 1,000. I can't figure what they goddamn name was. So I wish I knew. If maybe y'all see me, y'all can holler at me, then I'll drop my memory.
Is it the one on campus?
I really don't know.
Is it the one on campus?
What?
Is it the one?
Yeah, it's a frat on campus. Yeah, I'll just go ahead. Yeah. So then we're touching about that, and I also wanted to touch upon the school and how I feel they're just complete ineptitude with handling this whole situation that's happened in the Melville bathroom. Y'all always walking around posting all these posters and all these flyers talking about that are supposed to promote equality and justice for everybody. But how is it then that this incident happened on a Saturday and I'm just now getting a goddamn email on my phone like really addressing this incident today at 4:46? It's not right. It's not right whatsoever. So yeah, I just want to say, because if you're going to go and start initiatives such as UMass at UMass, not only should you talk about it, but you also got to be about it. That's be about it. And another thing too, I wanted also to address how some of my Black people are also feeling in this room, because on Tuesday I went to a discussion that was being held by the BMCP, and there were students in there who were discussing how they felt like sad and really scared and stuff like that. Me, when I initially heard this news, I was more just angry that it happened, and I just wanted the person to be found. But to hear that like my other fellow Black students were just really sad about it, and some said they were even scared, that it really just touched my heart, because we pay too much goddamn money to be feeling like that. And so yeah, I just want to say all that. And in closing, I wanted to address that racist who wrote that thing on the mirror. Listen, I don't know who you are. But I just want to say that first off, you are a coward, because you're right now on the mirror, but you won't really do it. If you are really one to hate Black people like that, me, come see me. I don't want all this smoke. Come see me there. Come see me there, because it's ridiculous. You want to write a message and hide behind yourself, stay anonymous like a little bitch, but you know what I really do that in private. So come see me with that fucking whoop there.
My name is Joanny Herrera Diaz, and I'm a first generation of immigrant parents. And I grew up in a straight Caribbean household where the and that's a problem. If you want to call me loud, well, you know what? I'm about to turn the volume up. Today was the first day in a while that I haven't been tired. I was tired of all the things that were going on in this campus and being swept under the rug. I was here this summer. I know the amount of money that this school put into one building, and that the fact that they want to sit here and raise our tuition, raise our meal plans, but take away our late night when they already know we are on campus, we need access to certain things that they're not giving us. And it's honestly been beautiful, like, to see the turnout and the fact that people actually came and walked and are here today, still here, because I know y'all got homework and shit to do. But y'all came out, so I just want to say, please, please, never ever let anybody make you feel like you are less, like you don't belong in this campus. Because at the end of the day, you got in. No matter what anybody says, you got in, you're here, you're doing your part to make yourself better. And people need to stop. People just need to understand that we cannot grow in an environment that is oppressing us. We cannot, how are we supposed to feel like we, how are we supposed to think that the world is going to get better for us when we're being shown and the place that is supposed to build us to go on into the future, they're not doing their job. They're disrespecting us, and it's not okay. So I just want to say thank you everyone for coming out, honestly.
Hi guys, I'm sorry if my voice sounds shaky. I have like stage fright. I don't really.
Go ahead, Sharia.
So my freshman year here, I also lived in Melville. I was also in a rap, EY partners in education rap, because I was trying to get into Eisenberg. And I just want like you guys to understand that it's already difficult to feel like you don't have a support system here. And I worked my butt off. I got into Eisenberg, and because that support system doesn't exist, I let people. I'm no longer in Eisenberg because I let people get in my head, and a bunch of things happened to me last semester, and I tried to reach out for help through administration and everybody, and basically what I got back was an email that I felt was pre-written. You know those emails that they have, they just put your name on it? And I know this was pre-written because I told them that I already tried to go to counseling. All the resources that they say are here for you. I did, and in the email that they gave back to me, it just was a list of the resources that I already said I went to. I feel like they didn't even read the email that I sent to them. That hurt, and it caused me to leave Eisenberg. I don't regret leaving Eisenberg because I know the person that I am, and I know that I'm gonna be who I'm gonna be no matter, regardless of Eisenberg. But I'm tired of the school talking about there's no money for resources, there's no this, there's no that, because all these resources have already existed on this campus. New Africa House was a house built for you guys. It bothers me that we're no longer there because they took you guys out. They tried to put you in different. They gave you 4 cultural centers. Those are not centers. Those are 4 rooms in buildings. Okay, those are not cultural centers. New Africa House was built for you guys, and on these list of demands, I'm gonna need y'all to put that we want that house back because it was built for you, it was made for you, and I'm tired of this country taking everything that you guys built and it was made for you. Okay? And I just need you guys to really take this seriously because I really do not want anybody else to feel the way that I felt last semester, regardless of it being a race issue or not. Not having a support system is detrimental to everybody, regardless of the color of your skin, but especially because of the color of your skin. So I need you guys to give deadlines to all these demands that you guys have. And when they don't meet those deadlines, I need you guys to organize another march and have this happen all over again. That's all I want to say.
Hi, my name is Bree, and I kind of wrote it down because I'm really tired right now. So I'm a sophomore here, and ever since I stepped on UMass, I wanted to leave. My first day at UMass, it took 3 minutes for someone on campus to throw a racial slur at me. In my freshman year, I had 4 racist incidents occur to me. Once in my class by a visiting teacher, twice in public watching around, and once at a party where I was actually called a nigger to my face. I've been called a nigger 3 times in my life directly to me, and I've been threatened to be lynched. Sorry, I say lynched, not hanged, because I'm from the South. And that was all back home in North Carolina. But I came up here solely to run away from the racism, but it shouldn't be following me at my tailcoats, because that shit was never funny. Hate has a home at UMass, and administration needs to change that. The Dean of Students Office needs to address this. Res Life needs to address this. Most importantly, they need to make a big deal out of it and not sweep it under the rug like they swept under the first time I was called a nigger on campus. Administration honestly does not care, but they need to care. We all need to care. We all need to stand up. I know that we're all scared, but we can all be scared together, but we don't need to live in fear on this campus because this is our school too, and we worked hard for it. And we're not going to let anybody tell us that we don't deserve to be here because we worked so damn hard, paid so much fucking money to get here, and I'm gonna fucking stay here. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, I'm Jayla. I'm a freshman, and I live in Melville, and this is my roommate. What's your name?
I'm Susie.
And unlike most of the other Melville residents, I did know about the incident on Saturday because I was the one that found it and saw it written on the mirror. And I come from Oakland, California. That's one of the most diverse cities in the country, and it's also one of the most dangerous cities in the country. But walking around here late at night, I feel way more unsafe than I ever did walking around in Oakland late at night. And people would ask me why I want to come to UMass, why would I pay out-of-state tuition to go to a school that's known to be, like where I come from, UMass is not really known to be progressive. I didn't know it was known to be progressive. And people ask me, why would I pay $50,000 to go to UMass when I could pay $20K to go to UC Berkeley or another UC? But I defended the school, I had expectations of the school, and I believed that it would be worth it. And so to walk into that bathroom on a Saturday morning, you know, sunny Saturday morning, it's game day, and I just want to go to the bathroom and I see "Hang Melville Niggers" written on the wall, it's like a bunch of emotions run through my mind. And the main thing is that I feel embarrassed. I feel embarrassed because I have to tell my friends that I was wrong about this school. I feel embarrassed that that the administration has the school set up in such a way that someone would feel comfortable writing that on the wall. I think that for that reason, this administration should be ashamed of themselves because there are expectations that people have of them. And when you let stuff like this happen, when you let people who are racist feel welcome at a campus like this, you're letting those people down. And you're making other people who hear about this wonder, why would anyone want to go to a school like this? Like the administration should feel ashamed of themselves for allowing themselves to have this kind of reputation. And that's what I want to say.
I just want to say, dear white people, being here is not enough. This is on us, and we need to do better.
Hi everybody, my name is Maheta. Some of you guys know me as Mickey because a lot of people can't really pronounce Maheta the way that it's spelled and they don't really care to try to. So that's that. I just want to read something really quickly that I kind of got inspired to say, and I'm really sad that it took me to my senior year, my 5th year as a senior, to say something, but I feel like this is the perfect time and the perfect community to say something in front of because we are tired and we are angry. It wasn't always anger. It was fear, hurt, disappointment in our school and our government, and now we're angry. And it's okay to be angry, because they already think we are, and now they need to understand why. Don't let anyone pacify you and tell you that it's an incident, or that you shouldn't do anything to seem aggressive. I am aggressive, and I'll say it again, I am aggressive, because hanging niggers anywhere is aggressive. That's an aggressive statement. Aggressive. Let's look at the history of our white people in this country. It starts with the slaughtering of our indigenous people of this country who wouldn't be indigenous if murdering wasn't legalized to that extent. They want us to stay silent so they can continue to poison the water in our communities and shoot our unarmed brothers and sisters. They want us to stay silent and remind us that it's not all white people, because they're allowed to live as individuals, while we are perpetrated as monolithic race. The only thing monolithic about us is how tired and exhausted we are of having to be educators and activists all the time because people don't want to Google shit. Excuse my language. This issue happened at UMass, but it's not a UMass problem, it's a US problem. So you guys need to continue to be angry about social injustice and inequality on any spectrum, not just on race at all. It's classism, capitalism, it's all over the place, guys. Silence is a privilege we need to take away from people who don't want to care to acknowledge the racism and injustice in this country. And their privilege. The privilege is over. And we're going to continue to be angry. We're going to continue to be aggressive until something changes. Because you know what I don't want? I don't want generations of people when they have flying cars walking around and still allowed to say the word nigger. We're not advanced and we're not as progressive as we think we are because of the technology in our fucking hands. There's still a lot of residual effects of slavery and racism going on in this country. And until we force our communities to do something about it, it's still going to continue to happen. I love you all.
Hi guys, my name is Sylvia Vitanga and I'm a senior. I just have two things to say. The first one is to the chief police officer in the room. I know you guys have a job to do and it's to protect all of us, but my question was, what made you send 20 police cars to Whitmore? For me personally, I've been here 4 years. When I was a freshman, you guys know about the gun incident in Pierpont. I was in Pierpont, and I know for a fact there was not 20, by the time they sent an email, there were not 20 police cars outside. It took a while for them to report to that incident. So I was just confused why there was so many police cars sent to Whitmore to shut that down. I don't know if they're gonna get to answer these questions. I don't know if we're just asking questions and nobody's answering it, but I would like that question answered. The second thing that I have to say is I don't know why the chancellor's not here.
That's right.
I was just thinking about it as I was standing in line, and he's the one who's sending out the emails, but he's not here to hear what we have to say. So, you're taking notes, right? Can you please let him know that when they figure out who wrote that in Melville, to send out an email, because when there's incidents like this, they always write it out until people forget and never let us know what happened after. So we need to know who the person was. If they don't want to disclose their name, at least the action that they took. And it should be expelled. And if it's not, then it's going to be other problems.
I'm Tanya, I go by Tans. This might be like a little hard to follow because I'm not the best or most eloquent at speaking, but my first year here, I lived in like this bubble that nothing would ever happen, and I went to Northampton with some friends, and I was in an ice cream shop, and I felt uncomfortable because you know when someone doesn't want you there, and I was like, no, it's in our heads. And as we were walking out, they said, oh, the colored people finally left. So all my friends were in Melville. I was like an honorary member. And the only thing that I had was going back to them because I know they would have my back and understand me. So I'm so sorry this happens in Melville because the only sense of community I have ever had in UMass, like true community, was with my emerging scholars of 2015, 2016 freshman year. And I know that it might not feel safe to be there right now because of what happened, but just keep that community feeling with each other, support each other, love each other, hug each other. Sometimes a hug goes a really long way, hear each other out, because it's all we got right now until we keep moving forward. And another thing, that day I was really mad at myself for not speaking up for myself. So ever since then, as anxious or nervous as I am, like my knees are literally shaking right now and I'm not looking at anyone because I'm nervous. I will never, ever not speak up for myself. So speak up for yourself. Always make your voice heard, because our voices are very important. And that's all I have to say.
Hello. My name is Leticia Medeiros. I am an emerging scholar and a Melville resident. And for those of you who don't know me, I was born and raised in Brazil and I only moved here 2 years ago. Sorry, I have this on my phone. I'm very nervous. Leaving was one of the hardest things I ever had to do. I had to face the fact that I'd spend long periods of time without seeing my younger siblings, and that I wouldn't be able to see my stepbrother, who was to be born, until he was already older. But I came anyways, because in Brazil, the US is a sacred place where nothing bad happens, or at least nothing as bad as what happens in Brazil. It is supposed to be a first world country anyways. And yet, in my 15 years in Brazil, I have never felt as threatened in my life as I did when I found out what was written in that bathroom. Not even when I was held at gunpoint 3 different times. Sorry. I haven't talked to my mom since I heard about this, because I don't know what to say. She brought me here expecting me to have a better experience that I could have in Brazil, that I would get a world-class education and not have to go through any of this. And I don't know how to tell her that it's worse, that I feel less safe in a campus full of police officers and cameras than I did in the streets of a country where the crime rate is probably twice as big as the crime rate here, if not bigger. So I want you to tell me, what am I supposed to tell my mom when she asks me how classes are going? Because I don't know. What am I supposed to tell my aunts and uncles who tell me all the time how privileged I am of being here, but I don't feel like it? I don't know what to tell them.